Hello and welcome to the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9. I'm Paul Kretschmer. Electric vehicles look to the future of reducing pollution. Already, Ed Ingalls of Newington Electric's been installing car charger stations for 10 years.
Well, Connecticut Electric Car Charging Systems is the name of my company. It's a division of Newington Electric. Newington Electric's the parent company. And we developed an electric car charging systems division about 10 years ago. We specialize in the installation of residential and commercial electric car charging systems. So that's sort of what we do.
How did you turn out to be so far-sighted in terms of anticipating something like this? I've been aware of electric cars for a while, but I hadn't really thought much about what it took to keep them running until just the last several years when they took such notice. You were really looking ahead there.
Well, not to blow my horn, but yeah, it was about 12 years ago we decided to get into it. Chevy Volt was going pretty hot and heavy back then. And then Nissan Leaf followed, and to be honest with you, I said, geez, you got a company like GMC, Chevy is putting all of this money and resources into electric cars, and you get now Nissan doing it. I just didn't think that it was going to go away. I thought it was going to be here to stay, so that's really what we did. That's really how it all started. So, and it's been pretty good ever since. It's been up and down. But in the last 2 years, it's been over the top. Electric cars are here to stay for sure.
Where was the first installation that you did in order to get your feet wet in something like that?
The very first installation we did was at the Blueback Square in West Hartford. A friend of mine, Tim Keys, who managed the Blueback Square area back then, called me and said, "Hey, we have a couple of people in town that have electric cars. They had Chevy Volts back then, and we're interested in putting a couple of electric car charging stations in." So I worked something out with Tim on like a cost basis type of thing. And we did. We put in two electric car charging stations over the Blueback Square, and that really launched us off because there was a lot of press and there was a lot of talk about it, which obviously turned into exposure for Connecticut Electric Car Charging Systems. And before you know it, we had municipalities and state of Connecticut and residential people were calling, and Connecticut Electric Car Charging Systems was born. So it's been going pretty good.
I've got a chicken and egg type of question to ask you, Ed.
Yeah.
How does a site become a charging site? What needs to happen first in order for the other portion of the installation to actually happen?
Well, the majority of our installations right now are for our residential installations, the homeowners. There's a lot of people that are buying electric cars right now, lots. So the majority of our installations are residential, which is what we specialize in. We specialize in residential and commercial, but it's really not that involved, to be quite honest with you, Paul. We talked to the homeowner. Back then, by the way, back 10 or 12 years ago, it would take you upwards to maybe 10, 12 hours to charge an electric car. And today, it's fast forward 12 years, you can completely charge an electric car now in less than 2 hours. Because they have rapid charge electric car charging systems now, which, again, we install. But so they've come a long way, big time. And what's really the big thing I might want to mention, if as long as we're talking to the public, the state of Connecticut, along with Eversource and United Illuminating, have put together some serious rebates for both residential and commercial customers. So if you're a residential customer and you want to install an electric car charging station, there are rebates available that pretty much pay for most of the installation, 100%. Through a rebate program, which we're familiar with, and we can help our customers, get through it. But the real exciting thing is on the commercial. On the commercial end, there's rebates as well. And when I say commercial, I'm talking about like apartment complexes and condominium complexes where people want to buy an electric car, or if they have already purchased one and they drive back to their apartment, they don't really have a place to plug in. So with these rebate programs for the commercial accounts, such as property management companies and again condominium associations, they're offering anywhere from $25,000 up to $250,000 in rebates to have electric car charging stations installed in these commercial areas. So if there's anybody listening that has they live in an association, an apartment complex or condominium association, they ought to look into that and bring that to the association's attention, because it's a win-win for everybody. The commercial complex would have the car charging stations installed, and of course the residents that live there would have a place to plug in when they buy an electric car. So that's probably the real exciting news right there.
You raise an interesting point for me, which is the installations that you do. Are they compatible with all the different manufactured vehicles that are out on the market right now? I ask that because we're still in the era where you have to have a particular connector for an Android phone and a different connector for an Apple phone. How as an electrical expert, how does that work in the electric car field?
It's a really good question. They are all compatible with the exception of Tesla. Tesla has their own male-female connector, but like with anything, you can get around that. For instance, let's say you didn't have a Tesla, you had just a regular, a Cadillac, electric car Cadillac or BMW, and you pulled up to a Tesla car charging station. You can buy an adapter that would plug into your car, into your Cadillac, that would accept the Tesla's, female, plug. So, but other than Tesla, every other car charging station that's out there is compatible with every name brand vehicle that's being manufactured today.
I live in the town of Vernon, where there's a lot of apartment and condominium complexes. Let's say I'm a property owner and I want to work my way through the steps to get an installation done, or perhaps I'm a homeowner who wants to have one conveniently located at my residence.
Uh-huh.
Are you in the position to help such a customer walk through the process of getting whatever permits or approvals or site plans or whatever for installing something like that in one of those type of locations then?
Yes, we are. We've gotten very familiar with it because it's become a big part of the process at this point. Because, like I said, the state of Connecticut, United Illuminating, and Eversource is giving away a tremendous amount of money in the form of rebates to our customers. So, yes, we've gotten familiar with it. So we will definitely walk our customers through it, hand in hand, to make sure that they get their rebates.
Once again, my thanks to Ed Ingalls from Newington Electric, who has started a division specifically to install charger stations for electric vehicles here in Connecticut. For further information, call us at 860-346-1049, 860-346-1049, or drop a line by email to office@wihsradio.org. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of the staff or management of the station. I'm Paul Kretschmer on the WIHS Journal, Public Affairs from 104.9 WIHS.